Do you know some of the common questions that people ask about getting into the ATM business? Stay to the end of the video and we'll give you these tips and tricks. All right, so this is part 2 to common questions that people ask about the ATM business. We did a video previously. We're going to follow it up with some additional questions that everybody keeps asking. So I hope you guys find this helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And thank you guys for watching our channel. Point number 1, maintenance and service. All right, Phil, so I'm looking at getting in the ATM business. How much maintenance do I need? How much service do I need? What's that look like? Here's a rule of thumb. Figuring in about 1 service call a month is about what you're going to average if you buy a new ATM. If you buy used, you're going to get a lot more. But a new ATM, you're looking about once a month for service. Now, what are the service calls you're going to get? You're going to get a jam bill. Receipt paper is going to run out, or receipt paper is going to jam from time to time. Those are initial calls you're going to get. You will probably also get a communication error, which means if you go with a cellular modem, or we call it a wireless router, from time to time that will need to be rebooted or unplugged. Sometimes the signal gets jammed up and you will have to reboot your ATM, which means you have to go to location, shut it down, and power it back up. And sometimes you're going to get calls that are not really calls. Hey, your ATM isn't dispensing money. Really, what that is that maybe the customer doesn't have enough funds in their account. They put the wrong PIN number. Those things happen from time to time. So you might get a call for that, but if you use a mobile app or you use your ATM portal, you can decipher between those service calls and you won't have to go to the location. But figure out about once a month for a service call. Point number 2, compliance regulations. Some of it's going to come from your ISO, but most of the time your ISO is going to set you up. We're an ISO, we're going to set you up the proper way, so we're not going to have any compliance issues. Our sponsor bank from time to time will ask for additional paperwork, but we always ask for the paperwork in the beginning. So you won't have, if you're with us, you won't have any paperwork challenges or any compliance issues from your ISO. The other side of the coin is your bank. Your bank from time to time will ask for different paperwork. Sometimes it's when you set the bank account up. They're going to ask for, and what we've seen, the trend is they're going to ask for an ISO agent agreement. That's an agreement between you and your ISO, which is me, agreement for the bank, because they want to make sure that you're a legitimate business. You will have to set up a corporation. Now, can you get into the business without a corporation? It is possible. However, most of the time the bank are asking for corporate papers. If you don't have that, you won't be able to set up a bank account. In addition, what they're going to look for is they're going to look for a location agreement between your location and your business. So you're going to need the ISO agent agreement and you're going to need the location agreement. That's going to be some of the additional paperwork that your bank will ask. A lot of times you'll be able to set the bank account up, but then when the auditors come in once a year, which they come in every year, they're going to ask for those things from you. Now, other thing that they could ask for is they could ask for location. Where's your ATMs? They want to see actual street addresses where the locations are there. And I have seen from time to time banking executives or branch managers or somebody at the bank go and actually verify, is the ATM on location? So that could be, don't get worried if that happens to you. They're just asking additional questions. Always remember, in compliance with the bank, some of the bank people will think that you're an MSB, money service business. You are not an MSB. They will try to push you in that road. They will ask you for some crazy stuff. How many times you visit your ATM? What's the frequency of the dollar amount that goes in your ATM? These are all questions that the bank is doing for their, what they call KYC, is know your customer information. Don't be afraid. This is just standard business practice right now in the ATM business associated with banks. If you get stuck, always contact your ISO and tell them, hey, I got these questions, I don't know how to handle it. You could always call us, PDQ. We can help you with this situation also. So if you're thinking about starting your own profitable ATM business but didn't know where to start, I want to invite you to our free checklist entitled ATM Business Passive Income Checklist. The 5 things you need to know to start your profitable ATM business so you can have a clear roadmap towards ATM business success. You can earn between $250 and $1,500 of passive income every single month. All right, let's get back to the video. Point number 3, finances and ROI. Now, we suggest that you're going to get into ATM business, figure your ATM cost is going to be somewhere between $2,500 and $3,000, and then you will have to put in somewhere between $1,000 and $5,000 in your ATM, every ATM. Now, as you add to your portfolio, that's all your ATMs, You can massage that, let's call it 5,000 a little down, because maybe there's 2,500 in this ATM, 2,500 in this ATM. So you can kind of massage some of that money, but as you get more ATMs, it gets a little easier. However, if you get a banger, it's going to be tougher. So you got to keep that in mind. Then, where are you going to get some additional funding from? Banks don't lend on new businesses, so that's not going to be an option for you. You will either have to finance it through credit cards. Keep in mind that you should be making between 40 and 70% of interest on your money. Current rate of credit cards are about 27%, or maybe 18 to 27%. So you can finance some of your ATMs through credit card and still make money. However, you don't want to do that too often. You make sure you pay your credit cards down, and then you can buy another ATM with your profits. So grow the business slow and steady, but that's going to be a concern. Where else can I go to get money? If you're in the business for 2 years or more, there are banks that will finance you for the ATM business. They won't finance the bald cash. Bald cash is the money you're going to put in an ATM. So you will have to have a clear understanding of that, and you'll have to have funds to put into your ATM. And then, how much money am I going to have to spend for maintenance? Just book about $500 per year for your ATM. Now, in the first couple of years, you probably won't have any maintenance costs, but year 3, year 4, year 5, you will start to have some additional costs. So if you just set aside $500 a year, then by the time year 3, year 4, you have a nice cushion for your ATM business. But keep in mind, just loosely figure $500 a year is a good fund for maintenance for your ATM. Again, the ATMs are going to last. Bill, how long are they going to last? ATM are going to last somewhere between 7 and 15 years, depending on how much volume and how much maintenance you put in. If you kept your ATM up and running, you're going to get closer to 15-year mark. If you didn't, you'll probably get closer to 7. But 7 years is a good length for an asset of this nature. Point number 4, marketing and customer acquisition. So now you're in an ATM business. How are you going to get new locations? Are you going to go out on the street and knock on doors? Are you going to hire a locator or create a finder? Are you going to hire a marketing agency to go out and cold call your locations? How are you going to do that? Are you going to do it yourself? You could also do a lot of networking. You can join local chambers of commerce. You got to figure out a plan, marketing and acquisition. Then if you're thinking about, well, maybe I just want to buy an existing route, how are you going to do that? How are you going to finance that? Those are all questions that you will need to answer when you decide to get an ATM business. I talked to a lot of people. They easily found 1 to 5 locations. Now they got the 5. They're making money. They're thinking, well, how am I going to grow my business? I want to grow my business more. I want to grow my business faster. How do I do that? You're going to have to figure out some of those questions about acquisitions and finding locations through those efforts. And point number 5, challenges and solutions. Some of the challenges you're going to face are going to be the bank. Bank is going to be an ongoing challenge in the ATM business. It's not enough to get the bank account. Now you have the bank account. Now you're over that hump. Banks are tending right now to get acquired by other banks. So you got a local mom and pop, a little maybe savings or a little small bank. They got a couple branches. You've been in there for 2-3 years. Everything is great. And all of a sudden now they sell to a bigger bank. What does that look like? You got to keep that in mind. That could happen to you, and you could be out of a bank. So that's going to be a challenge. Ongoing bank challenges, plus banks like to raise their fee schedules from time to time. They're going to charge you more and more to get cash. So that'll be a challenge. Sometimes you might get kicked out of the bank. What does that look like? The bank is going to be an ongoing challenge. Your second challenge to the ATM business is going to be a cash constraint. You're growing your business, but you're going to get to a point in your business where, you know what, I could get more locations, and I love the business, I'm making money, everything's great, but I want to grow it faster, and I'm challenged by cash constraints because it's going to take 6 months to 18 months to pay for your ATM, and you maybe got 10 locations. You're thinking, I could add another 5 this year, but I can't grow it that fast. So what does that look like? How are you going to finance more ATMs? How are you going to buy more ATMs? How are you going to have the money to put into the ATMs? These are all going to be cash constraints. So you will need to know, what does that look like down the road, maybe year 2, year 3, year 4. Keep that in mind when you're coming up what I would consider a pro forma of laying out a business plan for your ATM business. So if you're thinking about starting your own profitable ATM business, I want to invite you to our free checklist entitled ATM Business Passive Income Checklist, so you can start earning passive income, make more money, and spend more time with your family. If this is interesting to you, click the link down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and thank you for making us #1 on YouTube. I'll see you at the next ATM Mastermind video.